Okay, so today I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that crack cases aren't necessarily an evil thing if you're a reloader. Obviously, you know, I would only do it once because typically it's going to fall all the way down. A lot of people say that it's unsafe. I've been shooting crack cases accidentally and on purpose because they just end up in my reloader and I don't realize it until I pull down and it was really easy. And then I'm just like, okay, so I have a crack case. Depending on how my crack case is, if it's really open or if it's like this seems, it's right borderline, because if you can see anything on the other side, I would just go ahead and pop out that primer and start over. But this is not going to really damage the gun. It will seal up pretty well. And the only time you're really going to get something like basically a kaboom would be if on this lower part. So, you know, as you can see here, you know, it's only going down a certain amount, and I'm filming with Chuke from Chuke's Outdoors, so it's not going to the area where the chamber would be necessarily unsupported. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this out of my Canik TP9DA just to kind of show that crack cases, they're not really evil depending on what they are. A lot of people say, oh, don't even risk it. Well, I've got 5 in here, so we're gonna see what happens, right? So yeah,
5 cracked cases. Okay, I'm gonna be way back here in case it explodes.
Yeah.
Didn't explode.
Yeah, it's fine. But whenever I find cracked cases, if I'm picking up my brass, obviously the safest thing to do, the least waste of time to where you're not making that gamble of them actually being cracked open to where they stay open, it's just toss them. There's really no real need for it. But if you just load one and you check in, you're like, oh, it's only cracked a little bit, just run through that one and toss it afterwards if you find it. But yeah, it's not really evil as a lot of people say. But you know, you can put crimped and, you know, bent rifle cartridges into rifles, even a lot of older ones, and they're going to be fine. Same thing with crack cases. As long as it's going to be supported, that's what the chamber is for, is to contain that pressure so the bullet can get out.
As long as it's not all the way in the back, you're saying?
As long as it's not in the back. Obviously, if it has any opening there, it's going to go path of least resistance, and all that ignition is going to go out. And that's typically what happens with not squibs, but like double charges. Too much pressure builds up before the bullet can leave, and therefore that back end of the case gives out because it exceeds what the brass can handle. Doesn't happen all the time, like on 45s. It's kind of hard to do that, but I have managed to do that in the 1911, and the 1911 is like the only one that I know of that'll actually survive that without really screwing you up. So that's basically it for, you know, crack cases. As I said, it's not really something that I avoid, but obviously some caution, making sure it's not too open and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, the mosquitoes are out today, and I need to get up my confirmed kills on them. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and you know, you guys have a good one.